Hi, this is Sanjay Gangal from EDA Cafe from our Silicon Valley headquarters studio with Peter Lefkin, Managing Director of MIPI Alliance. Hello, Peter.
Hello, thank you for having us.
Well, thank you very much for coming over here, Peter. So tell us about MIPI Alliance. What is MIPI Alliance?
Sure, the MIPI Alliance has been in existence for 10 years, really focused on the mobile device and specifically interfaces within the mobile device. So when we speak of that, we talk about interfaces between the camera and the application processor, battery interface, display interface, power management and RF management as well, and antenna tuning. A number of different, basically all of the interfaces into the mobile device are within the purview of MIPI Alliance.
Okay. And how old is MIPI Alliance?
Yeah, we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary in Toronto last week, and we had a nice celebration at the Hockey Hall of Fame and awards ceremony. But you can imagine that the cell phone industry has changed significantly over the course of 10 years. So we had a nice retrospective as well as a forward-looking opportunity to kind of look at where we've been, where we're going, and a number of the interesting developments within mobile handsets and beyond to some of the mobile-influenced industries as well.
So tell us about some of the new developments in MIPI.
Yeah, it's been interesting. We're doing a number of different things. We're iterating our current interface specifications, so evolving them to meet the specific needs of the marketplace. But there's a couple of different unique areas that we're seeing play out in the market today. We're seeing convergence a bit between the PC and the mobile architecture. So we're seeing our MIPI Alliance physical interface being leveraged within a couple of different communities that are related to PC. In particular, the PCI SIG and for mobile PCIe, they're leveraging our physical layer interface MPHI. Also within USB technology, they now have a chip-to-chip super speed SSIC it's called, and USB 3.0, and they're also leveraging our physical layer. So what we see is the PC architecture coming down to meet the mobile architecture in low power, high bandwidth, and very low EMI, electromagnetic interference considerations. And those are really the principles upon which our specifications are developed for the mobile handset. Imagine low power, high bandwidth, and low EMI. And so what we're seeing is that the PC industry now coming down to tablets and ultra notebooks and other peripherals are really seeing the value in having that physical layer interface interact with some of the interfaces that have been in existence for a long period of time. So MIPI members are leveraging their investments in both time and products and their future evolution to extend their investments beyond mobile devices as well.
Okay. So as PCs are going from mobile to tablets to, as you said, ultra notebooks, and do you see it actually going all the way to desktop also?
Yeah, that'll be interesting. It's we see it probably more on the areas that you indicated, but because they have those sort of low power needs, high bandwidth. So desktop yet to be determined. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah, and there are some other announcements also coming out of MIPI. You started some sensor investigative group.
Yeah, that's a very interesting area for us. I think everybody sees the proliferation of sensors in the mobile device and the different types of applications that really brings to consumers. And so the challenge is, as you bring more sensors into the mobile device, it actually takes pin count, takes up resources, and there's no real way today to control the sensors. So many sensors today use a lot of power, may use bandwidth within the phone. And so actually being able to maybe control them through a sensor interface is something that we're looking at and actually have formed a working group around to support the development of that. And that's been a discussion that we've had with the chip vendors as well as the sensor manufacturers and other participants in MIPI to really see, is there a problem to solve? And I think that discussions over the course of 6 months to a year have really shown and kind of honed in on what MIPI can add to that process. So we're looking at the development of a sensor interface, and we've kicked off a working group and has a lot of participation from some of our members like Intel and Qualcomm and other sensor manufacturers like ST and TI. And we're looking at some of the sensor companies as well to join the alliance to participate in the new working group.
Yes, can you give some examples of the type of sensors we are talking about?
Accelerometer, pressure, also touch. We're looking at a number of different sensors. We had a speaker at our conference, and he actually had to pull out a list of sensors. And there's a long list of sensors that are actually going into the phone. So it's really not limited by the type of sensor. Our interface will be kind of a generic interface to address all sensors coming into the mobile phone. And also, if you think about that in the future, you're going to think about sensors that are interacting with other sensors that are outside the mobile device. So that's something that we've tasked the working group to look at, both the sensor control within the device and then how does it talk to other sensors outside the device. So that's an interesting and exciting area for us for sure.
Okay. And you also had some announcement pertaining to some flash standard?
Yeah, well, related to the discussion that we just had a little bit ago with PC architecture coming down, very similarly within JEDEC for the universal flash storage, they are also leveraging our MPHI specification. And so what we're seeing is that our interactions are going well beyond MIPI Alliance. So now we're coordinating development of our physical layer with JEDEC's UFS standard. We're coordinating development of our physical layer MPHI with mobile PCIe and USB. So there's a good amount of cross-industry collaboration that's happening now between sort of the typical PC architecture and the mobile industry.
Okay. Did we leave out a couple of other announcements also?
Now, we're looking at different areas as well in the area of software in terms of really how does, MIPI has been implemented widely across the industry. I don't think that there's too many cell phones today that are in any of our pockets here that don't implement a MIPI specification. And so our focus is there something that we can do in software to help support our hardware specifications? And it's not clear what that may be. When we look at specifying a particular area, we need to make sure that we hone in on the specific area for standardization. If it impinges on an area that is proprietary in nature or people add value in that area, it may not work. And so we really hone in on looking at the interface and where people can then implement the interface and develop functionality on top of it.
Okay. No, you do have about 200 or 250 members. Is that right?
Yeah, we have 200. It's 258 as of I think yesterday. Okay. We are increasing in membership, and interesting companies are joining MIPI. Outside of mobile, we had a medical device company join specifically to look at our camera interface. We have other companies joining that are focused on augmented reality and wearable computing, looking at our display and camera and other interfaces as well. So it's not just the typical chip vendors, IP providers, test companies that are joining MIPI these days. It's really going well beyond that.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about the licensing requirements that MIPI imposes on its members or...
Sure. The MIPI specifications are available to MIPI members, and there's a membership fee that all of the members pay to the organization. And the rights associated with implementing the specification are within the membership agreement. So our specifications are not freely available, out on our website, but you do have to join. And with joining, you also get the right to implement those specifications within the mobile device. It's royalty-free, on a royalty-free basis. Outside of the mobile device today, it's on a reasonable and non-discriminatory basis. RAND is the acronym. Okay. And that's a very typical licensing model for standards organizations.
No, there must be thousands or tens of thousands of companies who could potentially use MIPI specifications to design their chips and systems and stuff like that. And if you about 258 companies who are current members, are you actually looking to expand your membership to thousands of companies in the coming years?
Yeah, I mean, we're not in a membership sales mode per se.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of users who implement MIPI specifications actually don't have to be members in order to purchase, let's say, purchase product or purchase chips or purchase camera sensor. So we have a number of users of MIPI specifications that won't ever be members. Really, the vendors who are implementing MIPI specifications into products, those are the real target members for MIPI.
Okay. And how can people find out more about MIPI Alliance as well as its specifications?
Sure. You can visit us on our website at MIPI.org, MIPI.org, and we're publishing articles and speaking a little bit more to organizations like yourself to build awareness about MIPI Alliance. It's a very underlying technology to mobile phones. It will never be necessarily a consumer brand, but it's critical to the functionality and performance that we see in mobile devices today. It's kind of an unsung hero of the mobile industry, I'd say.
Well, you've done a tremendous job in getting all the specifications out and making all the mobile devices work. Thank you very much for making all that possible, and thank you very much for coming over to talk to us. Have a great trip back, Peter.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having us.